to say I quite like the Rascal Jester assembly they've created for themselves in the draft here. One thing I especially like is, let's be real, if you're a support who's not named Carrier, Tom Kench doesn't
Doesn't
offer a
look
lot
good.
of forward chase momentum to a lot of teams. He's not the best engager, even with that rework W that does allow him to move forward and find a knockup. But when you pair it with Hachimecha on the Jarvan, you get that Cataclysm down. It's like throwing zillion bombs in a Vigar cage, right? You can't miss the W if everybody's in a enclosed area the size of your W. So that Abyssal Voyage hopefully going to be finding a lot of forward-facing value for Secret, not just
Ooh.
as a retreating tool, but we are right on into game. And once again, we get these more sort of standard point defense than anything too spicy. No early invades. Still going to have to keep an eye out for the late invades. We did see that come through very strongly in our last game. And of course, the runes. Nothing too out of the ordinary across the board. Although I'm no
Say,
expert on the Aria
oh,
runes.
hold on a minute.
Yeah,
What is this level
is
1?
this?
That is
We have
aggressive.
Soul and Secret
Huh.
definitely feeling themselves here, chunking out Udapon, forcing him to go into one of those pots. It is the longsword 3-pot start, so plenty of sustain available, especially with that red gun as well. But Soul not shying away from getting this poke down, even onto Harp as they detach there, trying so hard to jockey for the wave push level 1. Hachimecha read right into the chickens. Now going to move on forward as Steel going to do the Gromp. So starting on the same side of the map and both pathing down towards bot. I think we know where to look for the early action in this one. Recap getting chunked out quite a bit here. So
I'm
Secret,
a little
they
bit
scared
worried.
push. Oh,
Because I was
just a little
taking a
bit.
look through, yeah, and while it wasn't necessarily any of the minor runes that we're looking at, Steel has had to go for the phase rush here because they are against a lot of slows across the board for Rascal Jester, most importantly that Zillion. So being able to get past that and really break through that boundary is going to be super essential. We do have Hachimecha though, walking over a ward on this invade. Steel knows, and you can see that Harp is already looking to come over.
Yeah, Harp was the first move from the bot lane, but look at Secret matching. Yaharong also moving on over. And in the end, neither of these junglers is doing anything right now. Are they really going to continue fighting here? The slow comes out, but Soul was left all by himself. The press, the attack is procced all the way. Udapon flashing for it, forcing the flash in response.
Ooh.
Can the Yuumi find the prowling projectile? The cat has done it, has caught the mouse out under the turret there. Soul will fall for the first blood over to DFM. The killer instinct from this DFM team just showing itself once again. You cannot give them an inch. They will take a mile.
And in the mid-fight, we had that it was actually Steel and Yaharon forced to use summoners, but at the end of the day, no kills went down. So this is not going to result in anything really positive for Rascal Jester. I like this from Ida, though. They are coming down trying to get something off the fact that this is a flashless Ahri. Let's take a look at how it actually played out in a wider screen, though. Ooh, as the mid lane fight is going down in the picture-in-picture, though.
Yeah, they actually do find Yaharong. I know does make that mid lane gank work, but on the
Crispy.
replay...
Oh, so, no, this was just too aggressive. They would just try to stay in range of the minions, and then they do a bit of fighting with Utapon, and it was just Harp returning back. Perfect timing. Is going to be just the freebie right there. We do get Rascal Jester evening it up, though, with that great roam down from Ino.
Yeah, I do quite like how Soul sort of saw the jig was up at a certain point, and resolved to die with honor, just stopped moving and let that prowling projectile come right on through. Yaharong getting a bit too comfortable, flashing the BM emote. Recap coming right in, charmed up, but that doesn't matter when you find the kill. So nice little sequence of play coming out from Rascal Jester to even things, as you say. Still down about 600 gold here, and that gold sitting on the Yuumi. More impactful, I would say, than some early gold on other enchanters, because you have that adaptive force to share over with your AD carry, right? And
yeah, definitely. Partly that, and also because you could accelerate the Yuumi up to one item, and once they get to that point, that's when we can see Harp skedaddle, go support Steel, and not really be seen in the bot lane ever again. Put up the missing cat pictures, because they are going to be all over this place as soon as they head towards that presumed moonstone.
that betrayal we all feel from Yuumi in solo queue. Goodbye, Udapon. Friendship with Udapon ended. Steel is my best friend now. But this Hextech Drake is the first on the board, so we'll have to keep an eye around that bot lane as things continue to develop to see who will be the first to poke their head in and check it out. Maybe think about getting themselves a nice dragon pelt rug for their base. NachoMecha going from the Wraiths, moving down, hovering around bot lane now. Wave in a fairly good state. Yaharong still no flash, of course.
This is definitely doable.
Here. Yeah, that's
Steals
slow
around.
from recap. Oh, it's so oppressive. Where's the counterplay to the point and click slow? Recap picking it up on Father Time here. And this has been a very productive early game for Rascal Jester. Some small hiccups allowed. Very, very nice from them.
I like it a lot of what they've got going here, especially with Sol actually going for the cull. The biggest issue, though, is you need these carries to be ahead. It's great to have this nice little isolated play you can do, and it's also very important to punish the Ahri before they hit 6, because after that, this is not a play you can replicate. Jarvan is worthless against Ahri. If you are ulting them, she cannot away. If you are going at them with the flag and drag and they're not already CC'd, the charm interrupts you, so you just stop in midair and it does nothing. So you really do need to be pressuring this tempo early, and it's something that throughout last split, I felt like Rascal Jester were actually one of the best teams in the league for identifying very narrow windows and punishing off them. So I want them to keep doing that. I want to see Ino keep roaming down to this mid lane and actually using their ultimate as one of the few things that could hold Yaharong still for long enough to actually kill them.
Yeah, going to have to use that tool very, very precisely. Steel now going to be picking up the bottom Scuttle Crab here, and it's hovering around, but this wave is not quite in the best spot. The level 6 is here. The Onslaught of Shadows at max distance could be really effective in finding a lone CC chain. Harp trying to play it cool, but I think Steel realizes there's not much doing right now, and will take the reset. Some nice wards down from Rascal Jester on and behind the pit here, Melvin. Could they perhaps look for a Drake anytime soon, or does that early gold and the continued wave push, although Evie, he's finding it onto Ino, it's the actual opposite lane of where we were focused for a moment, but just walks away. He just walks away casually. Cool ultimate, bro. I have a plant to go and pick up.
Ooh, they haven't seen Hatchimechi yet, I don't think.
Yeah, Steel now. There was actually a pink in that
Ghost
brush, so it's just a game of chicken. They're staring each other down. Ino getting the heal off that precision protocol, and now the fear coming out onto Ino, but down shot with the Hex Tech ultimate, and finishes and finds it. Evie flashes forward so aggressive, but Ino gets out. It's the double kill coming through for NachoMecha. And look at the bot lane secret having that shield.
Oh, he's got it! Oh! What is that HP again? Oh my goodness gracious, DFM doing whatever they can. So good from Rascal Jester, though. Oh my god.
What are they feeding LJL AD carries today? They keep surviving in situations where it feels like it just shouldn't be happening. And Rascal Jester, it's not reflected by the gold lead, but in terms of tempo and mental advantage, perhaps, they're taking it to DFM in this early game right now.
So they haven't seen Hatchimecha, and that's why we have Steel put down the ward. They know he's in the area, but they didn't know exactly where he was standing. And they keep the chase down going. You see Steel proccing the phase rush. But this was just such good patience from Rascal Jester. They decide to turn the play only because they're confident. With no resources left, Steel can be bursted out. And they get it. Ebby, once again, manages to, similar to every kill we saw last game, or the lack thereof, have their target escape on 3 HP, unfortunate for them, and it means that now the tempo of this game, like you say, is swung. Rascal Jester are in the driving seat. The only real negative for them is that they've not got ultimates in the top side, and that means that DFM feel more than enabled to rotate up and take this Herald.
Yep, so that is Shelly picked up, and now Evie finding the ult back right into that wallop, going to find a stun, but that passive from Ino actually blocking so much of the damage makes it a losing proposition for Evie, but he has backup. His allies are here. Steel galloping forward. That hook shot just going to take Ino away. Camille, so fair. And now the cross map is going to come out from Rascal Jester. Finally, this first Drake will be exchanged. But the plate's popping down, and Utapon, the benefactor of the gold here, definitely going to be a big one for him.
It's going to be good. But the thing is, you're leaving Sol with a tower, so you're happy, obviously. You get first blood tower. It's a big winning play for DFM. Not sure I critique that. But on the other side, we do have Soul able to at least collect on something, and because DFM doesn't appear to be, well, I say that actually, they are looking to escort him for a second crash, but now with Steel leaving, this is a vulnerable Aphelios at the moment.
Yeah, Evie just trying to pick up these wraiths, but Hachimetra will have none of it in the enemy jungle. Yaharong on the swing around, recap right with him. Evie charging up that Narbar, the transform ready any moment. Can they force a play here? The tier 2 actually falling in the top lane. In the meanwhile, so much time being wasted. Soul will finally trade back a tier 1. But the gold swing was actually so huge off of this series of plays from DFM. They went into down, but with that, Rift Herald found a full 5 plates worth of gold through that top side, found the first turret bonus, and then even found a tier 2, so that's a lot of gold. In the end, it just sort of erases the slight lead Rascal Jester had, though, right? So things are right back to that tabula rasa. We're on a blank slate, it's 19.1 all around, and things can finally chill out a little bit.
And I think that that's troublesome, actually, for DFM. Because when you have the Ahri and you have a Hecarim, you really do want to be accelerating the game pretty much from level 6 onwards. You want to be getting around the map and forcing things onto side lanes. But by killing that tier 2 tower, there is the option for Rascal Jester to just freeze in front of their inhib turret. And if they do that, there's really no good answer for DFM, because you would want to dive mid lane. But if you do that, you're against Tahm Kench, you're against Zilean. Even Cleanse, actually, on Soul. Yeah, you get punished so hard if you try and dive a tower and you mess it up. So I think that DFM, in taking such an aggressive play to the top side, has actually really scarpered their options for the future moments of the game.
As production is letting us know that Yaharong has not died more than twice in a single game this split, already up to that 2 death mark early here. Secret going to eat a bit of a prowling projectile, but that's the Kench. Just walks away for a moment and lets it regen all back up. Steel going to have to take those zoomies after being on the bad end of a trade from Soul. And that is really scary here, Melvin. We talked in the pre-show about how DFM, they don't have a weakness to prey upon, but we haven't gotten to see a look at this team quite yet, where the mid lane is not being one of the big threats on the map, is not really ahead, is not playing to the margins, you know, very much on that side of close to perfection. So this could be a very different look for DFM, and obviously, it's only a 200 gold lead. You don't want to count them anywhere near out, especially with the performance they've shown all through the split, but this could be scary as Hachimetra finds it on the Steel. Now it is the final chapter coming back out to eat out. The trap placement not going to do very much, though, and Steel will get away with just a third, but the rocket finds him! And now Recap zooming on in, so it is the 1-for-1 trade. It's a jungler for support in the end, and I do think you're happy with that trade as Rascal Jester.
Most definitely, a lot of resources invested both ways, but you're gonna take that, especially because it gives you this prio for mid. And now with a Zilean plus Jinx, well, you thought you killed one of the bot laners, but no, here is a second one for you, as they're just gonna be able to push in, chip down the tower a little bit. It's not gonna result in anything significant, because, and I love this from Rascal Jester, they're actually saying we're not gonna start hitting this tower, we're taking our resets, there's an Infernal up in a minute 10, and a Herald up shortly after. Let's get our laners in the right positions we want them, get them with as much gold as possible spent. You still have the teleport left for Recap Zilean to go back and buy that Everfrost, which I was waiting for a natural moment to bring it up. It looks like Yaharong is an Everfrost enjoy this game. What are your thoughts on that one?
Well, I can't lie. Ahri's not my area of expertise, but I've talked to a mutual acquaintance of ours who has pretty strong feelings about Ahri itemization, and I don't think Everfrost is on the top of their list of Ahri items. So we'll see how that one goes. Can, of course, increase that lockdown along with the charm and really allow you to play around picks more convincingly, but I'm not a believer until I'm shown otherwise with that Everfrost on Ahri. I'll put it that way.
So the positives and the negatives of this item right here. Positive, you can set up for your Hecarim for your Gnar. Negative, you are meant to be the only AP threat on the team. So if you are not actually able to one-shot people, which you definitely are not able to right now, then your damage goes to pot. So DFM need to play around this stylistically. It's not a wholly bad decision, it is a choice. And this choice is saying, at this point, we are going to wombo combo you in fights. If DFM fail to do that, it's all going to go downhill from there. And considering that Rascal Jester got this great reset off, they got their prio in mid again, right now, DFM, responding to it, though, very well, chasing down Ino. Will they be able to catch him here, though?
Yeah, it looks like the hookshot not quite back off cooldown yet. Now here it comes with the TP coming in to back up the play. So you will take that trade as Rascal Jester. I know smartly started backing up early, knowing that they had the free room on the Drake, that the cross map, the only punishing play left available was to try and pick him out. But now the return TP plays. Yaharong doesn't find the Everfrost, will ult forward, but Soul, the instant cleanse. The Captain Jack was good, but Evie knocking them all back. Secret taking the Abyss Voyage with the Jinx in his pocket, and now the Cataclysm to create so much zone. I know in the backline will find Yaharong ticking so low. The Zillion has put the revive down. The Chrono Shift is on Ino, and this is going all Rascal Jester. Could this be the beginning of the end? Could this be the first domino toppling down to end the undefeated dream? That is 3 for nothing for Rascal Jester and a tier 2 in the mid lane to boot.
Oh, who needs carrier? That was one of the most exciting Tahm Kench plays I've seen, as now they get this tower, they get this Herald, and mind you, they're going to have plenty of time to look to accelerate the map now. They could be looking to just snowball down the top lane. They are not under any rush whatsoever. And watch this right here. They are immediately blocking off Steel and Harp's collapse. And because of the speed boost from killing the tower, Sol does not need to get eaten early. Which means when Ebby comes in, Secret waits out the CC. They know Charm is down. They know Hecarim has used his ult. So they can just yeet on out of there, take Sol to safety. And with Ino's flank, it is all over for DFM. There is no way you can win this, because as soon as Jinx gets this first reset, they can chase you down. And Ino doesn't even need the Zillion ult. It's that decisive.
That was one of the most beautiful sequences of Tahm Kench play I have seen in all my years as a League of Legends fan. Great stuff coming out of Secret there, and it will be the 3.5k gold lead that is the boon for Rascal Jester off the back of it. And if you look at these Drakes here, Melvin, in terms of 2 individual Drakes you can have before building up the soul stacking, these are the 2 most combat effective Drakes you can have. You have CDR, attack speed, and extra adaptive force just off these 2 Drakes. So things looking very good for Rascal Jester. Continue fighting, continue scrapping, and continue taking it to DFM here. I don't think anybody could have anticipated this. This has been such an exciting game.
Thing is, I'm going to bring us down for a couple moments just while we have I'm
going
to say... Yeah, it's not a reality
team.
No, it is a 10-0 team, and we have complete faith in them, but
yeah,
you have
here
Tahm
comes
Kench.
The double wombo, final chapter with Steel still trying to find Secret. The shielding came out, and now the Cataclysm, the flag drag back, but they cannot answer one back, because now the Moonlight Vigil will not connect. I know, a bit late, cannot rotate over, so far it's just the support picked up, and there will be no counter punch. So just as we maybe call some attention back to just how good DFM are, they show it off, they find an unanswered pick.
But the thing is, they invested all of that to kill Secret, right? That wasn't a matter of summoners being blown, that was just killing Secret is what they got there. They didn't get TPs, they didn't get flashes, they got the kill on Tahm Kench. And while that is good, it isn't going to do much for them right now, because you had to invest a lot. Yaharong had to TP, Steel had to Ghost, which means around this dragon, around this Baron, there is going to be a good window for Rascal Jester to set up, and that is where they've been so strong this game. They have been really good so far at being where they need to be ahead of schedule, and when you have people like Recap on this enabling Zillion, if you're able to do that, there is a reason that I believe it's Cadril is saying that this champion is pretty much a free win, because he just denies any play you make, and when you're behind in gold income, you only get one good play, and if it gets denied by a Zillion ult, there's not much for you to do, honestly.
Zillion, big elo inflation champ, I should know, because I've made the switch from being a top laner for most of my league career over to playing a lot of mid lane recently. I've been abusing Zillion. I love this pick. It is absolutely wonderful. As we see RJ hovering around the pit now with 45 seconds to go. It is a Cloud Soul, which can feel like a bit of a gut punch when you play so well in the early game. Secure yourself those first 2 Drakes to set up your Drake stacking, only to be rewarded with that windy boy staring you back in the face. Can definitely be a feels bad, as there was some jockeying over chickens there. So could we perhaps see Rascal Jester opt to say, we already have 2 Drakes built up, we don't have to play as hard for the third, or for the first win Drake? No, it looks like they will rush on over to this pit. They're not considering the Baron right now, they just want to continue this stacking.
You want the soul point. After that, you could start to force the enemy team to do other things, because you could at least threaten Soul after this. DFM don't have the damage to take this Baron at the end of the day. They could look at it and they will kill it eventually, but they will not kill it in any time quick enough before the Zillion enhanced team rotates over to you fast enough. As we do have Hachimecha actually chucking the Herald down bot to further dissuade a Baron attempt, because if DFM went over there and forced Baron, that Herald will take a tier 2 on its own, as Recap getting caught out here, but it's Zillion.
Yeah, the charm right into the Everfrost, but it's the counter Everfrost into the double bomb. Who has more CC? Who is more obnoxious?
He's
it's
so good!
Jinx!
He's back! Soul and Secret are playing the game. He's actually playing the game. I love to see it. We have got not only a match, we have got another team that wants to throw down the gauntlet as Sengoku full Rascal Jester rise as they siege this inhib tower.
Yeah, I mean, this has just been such an amazing sequence of play coming out from Rascal Jester, and it's just as you say, that Herald getting so much unanswered work done down in the bot lane, cracking that tier 3 at the end of it all, and Yaharong severely underestimated what the consequence of this action would be. Oh, found him out! Guys, I got him! No.
No, as Soul, watch the rocket. He knows. They know where Yaharong is going. And it was pre-ordered right there. They had the rocket fired before Yaharong even committed the third dash. So cleanly done. Living rent-free in DFM's head right now. As Rascal Jester are marching their way to denying the win streak from DFM. Which is so funny, because DFM actually benefited off of Rascal Jester multiple times to get their win streak last season.
Yeah, it is a little bit of paying it forward, perhaps. But that was such a beautiful rocket angle coming out from Soul, because whether you predict the dash or not, Ari either has to juke back to avoid the rocket, putting her right in the jaws of your team, or has to juke forward and attempt to slip past the rocket, and Soul's just too good. He's never going to allow it to happen, and now he will be collecting another tier 1 turret in the back pocket, and Rascal Jester continuing to build one brick at a time, an impossible house. A house of impossible achievements as they look to topple the undefeated DFM here. They're hovering around the Baron Steel, getting real fast about things, trying to find out Soul, perhaps. That's a nice line of chompers out. And I know, in the meanwhile, is pinging out. What are they doing? They're investing so much time around the top side to accomplish nothing. Their inhib is bare and exposed, and I'm down here to threaten them. It's a nice little dance. It's a nice little tug of war, pulling all the right pieces to all the right places.
And when you look over to the Baron right now, you actually have pretty decent damage between the Jinx, and the Jarvan is actually not the worst in the world. At very least for getting it softened up to the point where DFM are forced to act. You have the added front line as well with this Tahm Kench, so you can pretty much do it without woe. The only real issue I see though is the Baron does shred the MR, which means you are getting set up for a potential sweep if you do go for it, which I think is why Rascal Jester are just trying to play the map as opposed to play the objective.
And Hachimecha chunked out to half there. Soul does return a zap, but Zoomies will make short work of that. It's as if the skill shot never landed in the first place. You thought Zillion was the one with the time warping power as well. Yuumi can answer him in spades. And you can see Rascal Jester, they're playing it so patiently, as you say, not wanting to overextend, not wanting to throw away a good thing. They've played it so well, so precise up to this point. They're not going to throw it all away on a harebrained Baron attempt. They're just going to continue to try and pull DFM apart, play the dances around the objectives, pull multiple members away from what they truly want. Now they'll move forward. They have to sweep out some of this vision as the TP is coming in from Yaharong. The double TP now from Heavy as well. They're committing a lot to get over to this Baron.
Okay, that is absurd, actually. DFM throwing in 2 teleports right here. They need to force a play right now, or that is a massive sunk cost. Oh, Hachimecha right there. I don't know what that Q was, but it definitely scared me for a moment, as there is a play here.
As you say, they pick their moment, and now they have the TP in to answer in spades. Evie has the Narbar, though, finds it. The Hextech Ultimatum will find Steel, though. He can't run away. Hachimecha had the Ignite put down, but he is the Jarvan. Just in case Chrono Shift, and that's just the 3 for nothing coming out. Rascal Jester is making this look easy now, Melvin.
For me, this is just the game. What is an Ahri without ultimate to do with a Yuumi right here? You can't threaten them here. If you get too close, look, Secret's lurking. I love this. He is going to go on Yaharong, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. You are zoned. You're trapped. Yeah, oh, he gets one, though. He gets Jinx.
That could be the deciding factor. Can they take this without the AD carry?
It's going to be excruciatingly slow. Steel will be up, but he doesn't have Ghost, and the Dragon is up in 30. So I think what that's really done is, while it hasn't actually stopped Rascal Jester getting the Baron, it means now they can't contest the Dragon. As you see, Steel wasn't exactly sure how quick it was going to be. I mean, why would you be? This is an absurd group of champions to have around it. But watch the initial play. This is DFM, I would say, getting a bit worried, thinking they have to force something. But look, you can't do it. The Jinx always has the Tarm, and with the Zillion too. I think actually the Zillion ult, again, doesn't even get used because nobody even gets that low. You see Utapon going for the 1v9 play that nearly works, honestly. It was very, very close, but Rascal Jester here.
Yeah, they want this Cloud Drake. They don't want to give over the soul. The ultimate into the wild coming out from Evie, but now look at the backline. Utapon trapped up in that Cataclysm. Now the Tom Kench comes in. He finds the double knockup. Steel is so low, has the bomb on top of him as well. The Hextech ultimatum locks up Utapon. He has nothing to do. The Rocket
He doesn't miss.
One.
He does not miss. Soul is online. Rascal Jester are activated, and they are going to siege down this mid. I would say for the game, honestly, there is nothing to stop them. No DFM, no 10-0 record. They are ready to take them down.
I mean, they have the purple armor on all these minions. They have the base cracking possibilities. Jinx finding one, getting exciting, forcing Evie back. Dodges out on the charm as well. These Nexus turrets will be the next target. Rascal Jester, they're doing it, and they're doing it in such convincing style. It hasn't just been a victory, it's been a bit of a stomp. They're up 9k, but have they overextended now? The final chapter, locking them all up. Steel moving forward. Evie with the ult backwards, but Secret has the stopwatch available. You cannot find him. That's the top laner for DFM gone in exchange for the support. And look at the revive on the Jinx. It's so perfectly timed. Jinx comes out to find the double kill. Now it's Yaharon getting forced back. They can crack another inhib here, or they can just go for the game. Soul continuing to chat out. He finds Hecarim as well, and they will find the game. They topple the undefeated record here in the LJL to Rascal Jester. They have done it!
They've only gone and crushed the record so